Hello, hola, bonjour, hey, hey, y'all. My name is Merc. Welcome back to the Narc Alert. He's here. He's here. I couldn't get his camera set up because he's been like a lunatic. Now he's like, oh, look at, he's so cute and adorable. No, he's been running around screaming like a banshee until I took him out in the hall and let him run like a fool. Then he had a big poop. Now he's done. So Rio says hello. Thank you all for joining me. Javi is going to sleep to this, even though, Javi, it's hump day. Woot, woot. You can't sleep. It's hump day. Thank you all for joining me. Ari, I see Ari is also probably just going to go to sleep because it's very late for Ari. And N-Jane, it's N-Jane's first live, guys. It's their first live. And on another piece of paper over here, I wrote, oh, Fluffy, I hope you're feeling better. I saw you chatting about that. Fluffy tastes like mold and Laser Saint three-way tie. What is that called in horse racing? A show place? What is it called when three ties in horse racing? Somebody will tell me. I used to know. I forget. I know, Javi, it's hard to sleep on hump day. Right, Rio? What? All right, now he's with us. Now he's with us, so all is well in the world. How is everybody doing? Middle of the week, we've almost made it through another one. I got nothing to tell you. My life is so boring right now, you guys. Boring. Oh, I've been kind of thinking about leasing an island, so that's fun. Not like I wish I was that rich to do that forever. Really weird circle of how things come about, but we were watching, there's a creator called, oh my gosh, and now his name escapes me. He's right now doing a 3-part series on Jeffrey Epstein. Documentarian, kind of over edits for my taste, but exceptionally well done documentary still. So we were watching that, and then we were talking about, like, someone said, wish I could live on an island. And I said, you know what? It's actually not that cheap. It's not that expensive. You can find reasonably priced islands to lease or buy. If you know, I couldn't buy anything, but Ari, welcome to the family. Ari is a brand new member. Everybody say hi to Ari. Jan spent 30 years on islands. Islands have a different vibe. J. Aubrey, thank you, Tyler. Islands have a different vibe. I don't know. People are cool on islands. I don't know. These are, I'm talking about these are private islands where it's just like you. So, I have a couple of people in my posse, my mods, and I don't know how serious they are, but I'm kind of serious about, I found a real nice island in Bocas del Toro, Panama, which is like one of my favorite places anyway. Scottish islands are dead cheap. Yeah, there's no monkeys, Denver. The island we found is actually also a monkey refuge. So if it's not leased out to the people, they run it. You can get a tour there, go on a tour because it's a monkey refuge. But you can just stay there and, the monkeys just hang out with you. And it's a private island. So cool. So that's fun. Valentine says, I'm serious. Valentine, I don't think I'm joking either. We're talking about 2025, summer of 2025. The other thing is, theoretically, I could be living in Costa Rica by then. So it could theoretically be just a short boat ride for me to get to Bocas del Toro. Does the island get surf? No, it's a small island. It's only about a 30-minute boat ride off the coast. And it's very shallow around the island. There is potable water. It's solar powered. The cabinas are simple but elegant, nicely, tastefully done. And it's all separate cabinas. So it's not like y'all stay together in some content house. Everybody has their own cabina. And there's little ladders that you can just drop down into the ocean. So you can just go into the ocean off your balcony. What? The place is ridiculous. Anyway. Well, these kind of things keep me going, right? Because real life is boring as hell and very trying. So you need these things. Like I got the Amazon. I got an eventual move to Costa Rica. Now I'm planning this crazy ass vacation with my posse. Fun, right? Someone asked, how old is Rio? Rio, how old are you now? When did COVID start? He was born when we were in quarantine. I think he's 4 this year. I think he'll be 4 this spring. Are you 4 now? You're like a big grown-up boy now. God, you were so big. You should have heard him screaming like a child because he wanted to go out in the hall. And then I let him out in the hall, and one of the neighbors opened the door, and I don't like we're not supposed to do that, so I don't like them to catch us. But they were like, oh my God, he's so cute. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. Sometimes he gets out. And then he wouldn't stop yelling, so I had to go and run him down to the end of the hall, and then I run, and he races me back to the apartment. It's kind of adorable. He's COVID age, exactly. Tank Girl says COVID old. That's how old he is. Oh my gosh, I just love you to bits. He was born 3 days after Ontario went into quarantine. I think we went into quarantine March 17th, and he was born March 14th. Oh, March 14th. March 14th is your birthday. You'll be 4. We'll have to have a party. What day is it? Is it a Wednesday? It'd be fun if it was a Wednesday. Let's see. March 14th is a Thursday. Well, whatever. So I thank you all for joining me today. I knew it would be a smaller crowd than usual because we're not looking at Amber today. I mean, what the hell can we do? We've already done a reaction to her last video. We do the retros up the yin yang. And she's pretty boring right now. Zendaya is a member for 11 months. Thank you so much. Says both of you looking cute AF. Like always. Thank you. Thank you. I was watching something last night and the girl said thank you in that way that I hate. Thank you. I don't know how to do it. Up the yin yang. Up the yin yang. So yeah, I thank you for joining me. You must be my diehards and also very interested in this case. I mean, we have covered Ruby Franke and 8 passengers on the Narc Alert for years, right? I've now moved all of those videos over to TNA2, which, gosh, I'm so an upload over there. There's just not enough hours in the day right now. But I'm fascinated by this case, and we've been waiting and waiting for this verdict, this sentencing to happen, and it finally happened yesterday, and we did watch it. Hi, Ty, long time. TNA2 Mrs. Umerk. I know, Jan. I'm a schmuck. I'm a schmuck. I actually made real notes, not just Bujo notes, but real notes about things about this case. So, I also, what I did was I took a clip of the her sentencing, her statement and all that during sentencing. If you didn't watch it with us or you haven't seen it, we'll watch that. I previously uploaded it to check, and it hasn't been copyright claimed. So I believe that we should be able to watch it freely and react to it as we go, and then discuss a few points. I've got a few points here, a couple of questions. I'm interested to hear your thoughts as we go. So, I guess a trigger warning. I'm not going to go into great detail, but there are some points. There's a point of the lawyer speaking where he details some of the abuse. Before we get to that, I'll stop and I'll re-trigger warning you, and we'll let you know when you can unmute or whatever. I have got the driest lips right now. I'm so sorry. I feel like my mouth is going to fray off. And I have this stuff. Paige made fun of me in Costa Rica, you guys, because I said I bought this thinking it was lipstick, because it's just kind of this really neutral colored lipstick, which is what I do. And then I realized it's not. It's like a gloss thing. And I said to her, "Oh, look, it's got a little heart." And she said, "Amber's got the exact same one. It had a cat." So then she mocked me for my lip stuff. She's so rude. Liz, member for 10 months, got back from building for Drama Club just in time. Cool. Are you building some kind of crazy set? I think I've seen your posts have I seen you posting in hobbies or in crafts or one of those threads? God, we got some talented people. We have some really talented people in our Discord. If you only hang out in the Amberverse in the Discord, please do yourself a favor and take a little walk through travel, through foodies, hobbies, crafts, hella talented people in our Discord. Do yourself a favor and go do that. Well, how long was her sentence? Okay, well, we're going to get to that. I think what we'll do is let's just add it up.
All right.
I guess I'll have to put my headphones on, and God, I need a sip of coffee first. Paige is a mean girl. She's actually not. I'm the mean girl. Poor Paige. Somebody said it's like, somebody made a comment in my comment section about it, like the older sister bullying the younger sister. And I thought, yeah, I'm an only child, so it's fun for me to be. I like teasing. Teasing is fun, right? You tease people that you care about, right? It's all in good fun, right? Right, Rio? Are you a good boy now? You're all dusty from litter box dust. I know. I got to get better later. Jack Wonderland Frost says, I made A Child Called It, parallels learning about this lady. Oh, remember that book? That was a big-ass book. I mean, not a big book. It's actually not a very big book. But I mean, I remember that book was huge when that book came out. Was that not the one that was later they found out a lot of the story was embellished? Or that was a different one? That was the guy that had addiction, right? Do you know what I mean? Do you know the book I mean? It was a big deal. Oprah had the guy on and promoted the book, and then they later found out the book was like a lie, and Oprah was like made to look bad. I know it wasn't a child called it, but it came out about the same. Million Little Pieces. Thank you, Cowboy Dog. That's it. It was around the same time, right? Thank you, guys. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys always know what I'm talking about. It's so good. So this is about, I think, 17 minutes long. We'll try and pause it and stuff. I know Boy called it. I think I still have a copy of it. Hey, Janet. Nice to see you, Janet. Everybody say hello to Janet. Go visit Janet Snowflake, Mrs. Snowflake, Mr. Snowflake's mom. Janet is here. She's got a great channel, Two Old Biddies. Drop them a subscription or a watch if you haven't already, because they're hilarious. Okay, like you want to go hang out with them. You want to go there and say, "Is there a Two Old Biddies tour company where you guys can just ferry me around and show me shit and we can laugh?" I just love that idea, you guys. Janet, take it, do it. Anyway, so let's just dive in and see what this. I know some of the audio is really bad too, so we're just gonna have to see what happens here, okay?
This report given for Washington County State Utah Session. John J. Walden presiding. You may be seated.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to District Court.
There she is.
We're here for sentencing in the matter of State of Utah versus Ruby Franke. Ms. Franke is here with Mr. Windward. Mr. Clark and Mr. Sham are here for the State of Utah, and we are ready to proceed with sentencing.
We are.
Yes, Your Honor.
I made her a little bigger.
Counsel, the terms of the sentence were agreed to as part of the plea agreement, correct?
That is correct.
There is a pre-sentence investigation report in the matter. I have reviewed that. Everyone has seen it.
Yes.
What about restitution, counsel, before we move on with other matters?
We'd like to leave that open at this time, Your Honor.
Somebody asked, what did she do? I felt like I don't have to recap this because I feel like we all know it, but let's do a quick Reader's Digest recap, okay? Ruby Franke is a mommy vlogger who used to have a family channel called 8 Passengers. Now, a lot of people criticize this channel because she was such a strict disciplinarian to the point of abuse with the kids. So a lot of people were throwing red flags all over the channel. She then became acquainted with a woman named Jody Hildebrand, who ran this thing called Connections. This, they're going to tell you how to be better humans kind of bull crap, self-empowerment crap. The channel kind of went defunct, and but people were still very concerned about these teachings from these two gurus. And then this summer, one of the children escaped from the partner's house, went to a neighbor's place and knocked on the door, and they were found to be bound with tape and highly abused, thirsty, hungry. So both of these women were charged with 4 counts of child abuse. I forget the exact charge. It's in the state of Utah. So they've been held for months now, I guess since July. Mormon, too. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, it's all based out of the Mormon faith. Not that all Mormons are bad, but that's where these people germinated from. They both pled guilty, and yesterday they were sentenced. Now, the thing that was very confusing for a lot of us watching is that the state of Utah apparently does not issue a sentence. They issue a range. So going into this, we knew that they were eligible. 4 counts. Each count was, you could be served 1 to 15 years for each count. So they pled guilty to 4 counts. So really what the court was determining wasn't, we thought the court would be determining how many years they got. But no, in Utah it's a little different. What the court determines is whether the 4 cases will be served concurrently or consecutively. In other words, all 4 at the same time or one after another. So they're served one after another, which is the best because that will be longer than if they were all served at the same time. I hope I'm making some sense. I'm not a lawyer. Please, for the love of God, go watch Emily Baker. I'm just paraphrasing. So basically, that's what happened. Now, whether they get 1 year or 15 remains to be seen. But here's another point going in that I just found out today because I was doing a little bit of more research before we did this today. You would think at 4 counts at 15 years maximum that they would be eligible for 60 years apiece. No, again, weird state of Utah rule. If you're given consecutive sentences, they can total no more than 30 years. So really the maximum that either one of these women can get would be a 30-year sentence. So with all that preface, let's go into this. Bruce Rivers and Emily Baker. Yeah, go watch them.
I can get into that. I might be more comfortable.
I want to talk more about what's her teeth? Ruby stands up and addresses the court. And I want to kind of look at, as we're vaguely familiar with narcissistic behaviors, although she's not been diagnosed and we are not diagnosing anybody. I thought it might be interesting to look at some traits that she might exhibit that are similar to traits that fall within that spectrum of that diagnosis. Let's go.
Comfortable if we approach to get into that.
Is there an agreement that restitution?
You're welcome, Lynn. I hope that was concise.
We reserve
and not too long.
that, and for what period of time?
8 months is what we're anticipating. But I haven't talked to the defendant's counsel about that.
We haven't discussed that, Your Honor.
Is there any objection?
So this is restitution they're talking about right now. Becky T, thank you for the super chat. Becky says, love you, Merc, Rio, and the whole family here. Thank you, Becky. We love you too. I always see your comments. I see everybody's comments. I read all the comments. What they're talking about here is restitution and for a period of 8 months and some dollar amount. And what that is to cover is therapy for the kids, stuff to help the children heal. That's what the restitution is for. I was curious, as it's not a financial case, what's the restitution? That's the restitution.
No.
All right. What's the state's position regarding sentencing?
Your Honor, the state, I'll stand up. The state respectfully requests that the court sentence Ms. Franke to consecutive prison terms for each of the 4 counts of aggravated child abuse. This sentence was agreed to by Ms. Franke in her plea agreement and is also recommended by adult probation and parole.
So, yeah, we're going to skip through some of it. Like I said, I really just want to get to her speech. Basically, what they're saying is they want to give her the maximum, which would be 4 consecutive sentences. She has agreed to that, and that's where we're at. But she has a little something she wants to tell the court. Of course.
Thank you. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Windward?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. In my few comments this morning, and in the comments my client wishes to make in a few minutes, we are not suggesting, nor are we asking that the court deviate from the stipulated sentence contained in the written plea agreement. I want the court to know that through introspection and reflection, Ruby Franke has become a serious student.
Becky, are you drunk? I'm just kidding. Look at the beautiful thing Becky just said to us. You guys are a group of beautiful, bright, mesmerizing stars in the middle of a big pool of stones on this platform. Y'all beautiful souls. It's that simple, and I cherish this connection. So what a friggin' beautiful thing to say. Becky, you got me all choked up when I read that. Really nice. Thank you so much from me and all the learners.
Of her own actions. In the very early days of my involvement with Ruby, she was somewhat defensive, and she was still very much indoctrinated into a philosophy.
Paige isn't here right now because she's working, but when she watches that, Paige is it's going to make Paige cry.
That was destructive. Fortunately, Ruby came to the stark realization of the errors in her thinking patterns and subsequent actions. To say that she was horrified by this realization would be to put it mildly. I have marveled.
So the moment she got caught, the light bulb went on and she realized that she was wrong doing what she was doing. Really? I'm amazed at how much of the mainstream media is buying into this performative bullshit that she's pulling, right? I'm thinking you guys probably agree with me.
And how quickly Ruby abandoned her defensive stance and moved toward her total acceptance of her actions and to her sentence today. So far, she has used her time in jail to unwrap the layers upon layers of deceit and deception foisted upon her over the last 4 years by an unscrupulous individual. Ruby
Ludi says, where was her husband during all this? Well, for the last year and a half, they've been pretty much estranged, separated, and for some reason, he's never been in the house or peeked in on the kids or whatever for the last year and a half. And he was blaming her and Jody. But such a load of
realizes that she still has work to do in shedding those thinking errors and to reestablish a better and correct pattern of thinking and behavior.
So basically what you're going to see here is, Jessica, you haven't missed too much. We haven't gotten to the part where she talks yet. But basically what you're going to see here is Ruby completely, oh my God, it's such a manipulative performance. She acts like a takes responsibility in a martyr-like way. I don't know how to put that. I'm sure someone with a better education level than me there's probably a way. Like, she takes responsibility, but it's so disingenuous, and it's in a way only to make herself look good. It's so weird. It's not like she's taking responsibility because I think she feels honest damn remorse for what she did. It feels like taking responsibility is what everybody expects her to do. So that's the performance that she's going to put on now. And on the other hand, she just takes Jody by both of her padded shoulders and throws her right under the damn bus. This woman was a damn saint before she met Jody. Ridiculous.
Ruby realizes that changing her thinking, reestablishing relationships, and healing are not simple or easy tasks. However, she is committed to doing that work. I would like the court to know that Ruby Franke is a delightful, respectful, and responsible person. She is open to feedback and addressing the consequences of her actions head on, and now ready to address your honor and accept your judgment. Thank you, Judge Walton.
Thank you.
Like, remember, this woman was a YouTuber for a long, long time, okay? Performing in front of the camera comes very naturally for her. Who performs better than a bloody family vloggers? Putting on their perfect performance every single day in front of that damn camera. So I'm not buying this at all.
Thank you. Ms. Franke has a statement she'd like to make.
She does.
And the audio gets terrible, and it ticks me off because I'm thinking, bitch, you know how to work a mic. You know how to work a mic. Why are you eating the mic? Stop it. But we can't do much about that.
Thank you.
Chances, do you think there was a relationship between the two? I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe, maybe not. Certainly, I think there was like a Svengali kind of thing. I'm sure that Jody... I don't disbelieve what she says about Jody, but I don't think that she was anywhere near she was close to that before they met anyway. Right? That's what I think. Now I got to move his chair over. Hang on. I'll let her
Judge
talk.
Walton.
You don't have to bend down.
Okay, thank you. I would like to make a statement without any intent to change my stipulated sentence. For the past 4 years, I've chosen to follow counsel and guidance that has led me into a dark delusion. My distorted version of reality went largely unchecked as I would isolate from anyone who challenged me. I was led to believe that this world was an evil place, filled with cops who control hospitals.
Really? I remember doing a video about her having an outrageous crying fit because the school board wanted them to dance to Shorty Got Low, 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 Low. It wasn't all Jody. You're such a lying sack of skin.
Hospitals that injure, government agencies that brainwash, church leaders who lie and lust, husbands who refuse to protect, and children who need abused.
Also, this statement is all about her, right? I mean, she does eventually get to the kids, but it's all about poor me. I was so misled. And I went down the wrong path, but I was guided by this horrible monster. And God, I'm just so innocent. It's sickening.
My choice to believe and behave this paranoia culminated into criminal activity for which I stand before you today ready to take accountability.
You made your son sleep on a beanbag for a fucking year, okay? That was before Jody ever entered the picture. What about that stupid camp they sent the kid to?
Jody
All
Hildebrand
before Jody.
was never my business partner, nor was I ever employed by her. I have never received wages from her or connections. Jody was employed as my son's counselor in 2019, and
I haven't heard anybody mention this, and this is a point that I found interesting. She says she wasn't employed. She didn't receive payment from them. Fine. I don't know. They can look that up. I don't have access to those records. I find it odd that she dumped her YouTube channel, which made money, and went and worked for a woman for free. But okay, whatever. But one thing that I find interesting is she says that she hired Jody to be her son's counselor. Really? Because from all I've read and understand, before connections really got in deep, she was a marriage counselor and a sex therapist. So why would you choose that person to be a counselor for your teenage son with his crazy behavioral issues like teasing his brother?
in 2020, I paid her to be my mentor. It is important to me.
So you looked at this woman's body of work and you chose her to be your mentor, okay? Let's start there. You chose her. You saw what, yeah, I like, let me get on that train. I like what she's offering. Really?
To demonstrate my remorse and regret without blame, I take full accountability for my choices, and it is my preference that I serve a prison sentence.
It's not up to you, bitch. Nobody cares what your preference is in regards to your sentence. Nobody cares. She's only saying that because she thinks it makes her look like some kind of martyr. Oh, it's so revolting. This is so performative
Thank
and
you to
disgusting.
the officers in Santa Clara and the Ivan City Police.
In my opinion.
Nick Hellman, Brian Palufo, Cy Pikuvit, Mike Pondoyo in Tobler, John Ward.
Now she goes on this weird, super long Academy Award winning, I'd like to thank the Academy kind of speech, where she thanks every human being that she's come in contact with since all this crap went down, including the police officer by name who put the handcuffs on her because at that moment she was finally free. Are you fucking kidding me, girl? People are buying this. Look at the mainstream media. Everybody's buying it. Jody's a monster and Ruby, well, you know, it's just weird.
D. Lewis and Chief Flowers. You were the angels who came and saved my children. I especially want to thank Detective Jay Bate. She plucked me out of a situation I didn't know how to get out of.
Oh, bull crap.
And the moment she handcuffed me was the moment I gained my freedom.
So now she's basically saying she was a prisoner. She couldn't even escape Jody. You were partners.
You were not the controlling ones. I was. Thank you to the medical staff at Intermountain Hospital. Your skill, tenderness, and professionalism helped heal my children. Jody and I inflicted the injury.
Your children aren't healed, girl. What you've done to them is going to be a lifetime of trauma. I mean, they'll get over it if they're, hopefully they'll get over it. I would guess, given the high profileness of this case, they will get a lot of great help. But it's not over for them.
Not the hospital. Thank you to DCFS, the Children's Justice Center, Judge Basil, and other key adults.
Why didn't you go to any of these people 2 months ago? This is such a load of crap. The only reason she's pretending to be remorseful is because she
Gathered my
got caught.
children under your wing and offered them love, compassion, encouragement. You were not the ones who were doing the brainwashing. Thank you to my
Brainwashed.
Bishop Tom Hawks and my state president Jim Nelson
Fake to your time.
for reminding me of the Lord's love for the lost. So much pain and suffering would have been avoided had I followed and heeded your counsel. I was the one who was deceived, not you.
I was the one that was deceived. Are you going to get to the kids at all in this speech, you self-serving narcissistic bish?
Thank you to the Washington County Prosecutor's Office, Ryan Sham, the legal assistants and
Do you not think that, I know Laura says I can barely hear what she's saying. It's really hard. She's eating the mic, and I apologize. I can't do anything about it. Ingeborg, thank you for the super chat. Says like and live chat. Don't forget live chat. Don't you think that, if you were truly remorseful in this position, the first thing you'd be doing is addressing your kids in this speech? The very first words were out of your mouth would be, "Oh my God," by name. Because later on she addresses the kids, but she just calls them, "Oh, my babies, you came from me." There was specific children that were abused here that she's being charged for. She doesn't mention them. And I know we don't care to hear their names and privacy and all that, but that would have been part of her damn speech. She doesn't... It's wild. Oh, I went back too far, damn it.
Or easy tasks.
led me into a dark delusion. My distorted version of reality went largely unchecked as I would isolate from anyone who challenged me. I was led to believe that this world was an evil place, filled with cops who control.
We did that, sorry.
It is important to me to demonstrate my remorse and regret without blame. I take full accountability for my choices.
It's important to me to demonstrate my remorse and responsibility without blame. Really? Because all you've done is blame Jody. I know I clicked the wrong thing because this isn't a YouTube video, it's a file. Yeah, their names are all over the internet. Their videos are all over the damn internet. She was a family vlogger.
And it is my preference that I serve a prison sentence.
Oh, sorry, I went back too far again.
And the moment she handcuffed me was the moment. Thank you to DCFS, the Children's Justice Center, Judge Basil, and other key adults. You've gathered my children under your wing and offered them love, compassion,
We're close. Hang in.
encouragement.
We'll
You
catch
were
up in a
not the
second.
ones who were doing the brainwashing. Thank you to my Bishop Tom Hawks and my state president Jim Nelson for reminding me of the Lord's love for the lost. So much pain and suffering would have been avoided had I followed and heeded your counsel.
This is where
I
we
was the one who was deceived, not you. Thank you to the Washington County Prosecutor's Office, Ryan Sham, the legal assistants and discovery clerks. Eric Clark, you exemplified to me how justice and mercy are meant to coexist. My charges are just. They offer safety to my family, accountability to the public, and they did show mercy to me.
Yeah, really? Well, you felt none of this when everybody on the internet, when you were on YouTube and there was hundreds of videos criticizing your behavior. You didn't feel any remorse about it then, did you? That never gave you pause? You know, I often tell the story about when I was young and I had my hair dyed black and I thought I was just the coolest little punk rocker in the whole damn world. Oh, I'm ever so edgy. And all my friends were like, yeah, no, girl, no, this isn't your look. You gotta, and I was like, no, it looks great. Years later, I saw pictures and I was like, no, all my friends were right and I was wrong. So sometimes even when you feel as right as possible, if everyone around you is telling you you're wrong, maybe take a breath and just consider their opinions.
Thank you to my attorney, Lamar Winward, and his staff. I would not be where I am today without them.
Such a victim.
Thank you to Randy Kester for your limitless energy in healing my family. My dear friends, Pam and Roy, I'm so sorry for letting you down. Because of your association with me, your innocence was called into.
How about all your? I do believe that all her sisters and brothers-in-law, like they're all a bunch of family vloggers. There's more than one family vlogger family in this family tree, but they've kind of disassociated themselves from her since she got into all this connection stuff because they were mortified by her behavior. So I haven't heard talking about them yet either.
My mother-in-law, father-in-law, Kevin's family, my cousins, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews,
What about your kids?
and neighbors. You all saw the warning signs long before I did, and you did what you could. You wanted to help, but I pushed you away. My mother and father, I have been utterly wretched to you. You have offered me unconditional love, and for that I have offered you unconditional contempt.
All right, well, here, and let me show you. That's a nice little segue into this. So her parents wrote a letter to the court that I found today. So this is what her parents wrote to the court. Dear Judge and Parole Board, we are Ruby Franke's parents. We're currently serving a full-time mission in Serbia. They're all Mormons, right? Before Ruby became involved with Jody Hildebrand, she was a wonderful mother, daughter, sister, and member of the church. All she ever wanted from the time she was a little girl was a family to love and nurture. When she began having troubles with her teenage son, Chad, she sought out a family therapist counselor to help him. No, she didn't. I'm sorry, she didn't. That was well later. We noticed a shift in Ruby's thinking the summer of 2020, and by that fall, she had cut all ties to us, her siblings, and her close friends. For 3 years, what brief communications we had with her, she accused us of either things that never happened, or she grossly exaggerated the events that did. She was delulu. She was so deeply brainwashed that we couldn't recognize her. We received a postcard from Ruby 2 months after the terrible news of the children. It's not terrible news. You received the postcard after your daughter abused her own children, but okay, go off. We read her tender apology and humble acceptance of accountability. She expressed her gratitude for being incarcerated, and we felt the mighty wake-up call was a huge blessing. And since then, we have seen a return to the Ruby that we once knew. She's better, guys. It's all fine now. Her thoughts and views are her own now. Her love, appreciation, and commitment to her family is stronger than it's ever been. Ruby is more concerned about her eternal salvation than her imprisonment. Her testimony of the Savior and his atoning power means everything to her. As her mother and father, we plead with you to show her as much mercy as you possibly can. Hopefully, in the time, she will have a relationship with her children. God, no. And they will remember the mother she once was to them and find it in their hearts to forgive her. This would be the greatest healing balm of all for them. Sincerely, fucked up mom and dad.
My siblings.
What the hell do you think about that? These grandparents just said the best way for these abused children to heal would be to get back with the mother and forgive her. That's what they just said. What?
Their spouses,
What?
because of my decision to roll around in a pigsty, I've dragged your families through the mud in public.
You sure did.
Yet, when I desired to return as the prodigal sister, unlike the prodigal's brother in the Bible, you synced step with my parents and ran out to greet me. Your capacity to love is unprecedented. Kevin, my husband of more than 23 years, you are the love of my life.
Here's what I think about her husband of 23 years, honestly. Spineless cuck. Okay? I've watched the vlogs. I know for sure that she was the one who wore the pants in that family. She ran that household. He just was probably a yes man the whole time. Spineless, didn't stand up for his own children, was able to let her and Jody. I'm sorry, if you're separated from your family and your ex-partner is a bitch and she's hanging around with another bitch and they're making it as difficult as possible for you to see your kids, you find a way to see your kids. He didn't. He didn't see his kids for like a year. No, these people piss me off. There's no mincing words for these
So
people.
sorry to leave to you to finish
He's a cuck.
what we both started together. The ending of our marriage is a tragedy. And you are wrapped around my heart in a knot I'll never be able to undo.
Exactly, Jen. He wanted to sue his oldest daughter. He tried to have her arrested because she went into the family home and got like a journal or something, some of the things that the other kids had left in the house. But because she wasn't legally living there, he tried to get her arrested. And when the cop told him, no, that's not legal, she's your daughter, he said, no, I don't think that's right. I'm going to look into that. Asshole.
To my babies, my 6 little chicks, you were part of me. I was the mama duck who was consistently watering you to safety.
This is her apology to her children. Hello, my babies. You're all a part of me, and I was the one who was going to keep you so safe. It's all about her. Not, oh my God, child 1, child 2. There are no words to express what I feel for what I did to you. I don't hear that. I don't hear that at all.
I can see now. Over the past 4 years, I was in a deep undercurrent that led us to danger.
Not taking responsibility. I was the mama duck and I was supposed to paddle us to safety, but the water was so rough that I didn't even know we were in danger. Oh my God, woman. Mainstream media's buying this act, you guys.
Launched into darkness knowingly. I was so disoriented that I believed dark was light and light was wrong. I would do anything in this world for you.
Yeah, she's eating the mic and you can't hear her very well, but she's just spouting a bunch of crap. Like, I believed light was dark and dark was wrong and right was wrong. Like, just crap.
My willingness to sacrifice all for you was masterfully manipulated into something.
Dwight Wolfie says she's eating the mic to sound more pathetic. I believe it too. This woman has been a performer on YouTube for 10 years. She knows exactly how to work a goddamn microphone. Don't tell me that. I also don't believe that she's so overcome with emotion that she's just kind of forgetting about all those things. Because this doesn't sound like she's overcome with emotion at all.
Something very ugly. I took from her all that was soft and safe and good. I took from her a mother. How terrifying this must have been for you. I'll never stop crying. You're hurting your time.
Bitch, your children were chained up to friggin' radiators with gaffer tape. There's no sympathy bone for this woman. I'm sorry. None. You don't chain your children up to parts of the house.
Your
You
soul
don't
is.
do that to a damn dog.
You're so precious to me. I'm sorry.
Exactly, Kelly says she's crying for herself, not for kids.
My choice to live in fear of the world has created a great vulnerability and a blind spot for me, where I have broken hearts and I've caused people
It's not her fault, guys. She was just so afraid of the big bad world.
to suffer, and I have betrayed sacred trust. Watching my community respond to my charges with justice and mercy and grace.
I also might add that from the videos I watched pre-Jody entering her life, I never got the sense that she was afraid of the world. I got the sense that she was a righteous, religious woman up on her high horse who was out to show us all how much better she was, how much more moral she was, and how wrong and horrible we all were. I never got the sense that she was afraid of us. Sorry.
And love is all the more evidence to me how wrong I've been. This world is full of really good people. And finally, I'm sorry for twisting God's word
No, you're
and
not.
distorting his doctrines.
Sadly, there's a lot of narcs that use religion. You're not unique in that either, Ruby.
My greatest desire is to stand in his court someday spotless and confident. And Judge Walton, I know.
Not my greatest desire is to somehow, if there's any way I could possibly make it up to my children for being the worst possible mother that I could have been to them. Maybe that's what you should be hoping for, instead of being able to stand in front of the court clean. Priorities, right?
But standing before you today is a necessary step towards that end. Thank you to you and your staff for facilitating my opportunity to take accountability and to answer
Well, you
for
haven't
my
yet.
charges. I am humbled and willing to serve a prison sentence as long as it takes.
Oh, she's willing. Guys, she's willing to serve a prison sentence. Isn't that benevolent of her? Weird languaging, isn't it? Still control freaky languaging to me. I'm willing to do that? Girl, don't think you got a choice now.
Continue unraveling all of the misinformation I have believed and bought,
So weird.
swallowed, and acted out, and for my family to heal and for the community to heal. And I understand this is going to take time. I'm committed to continuing my learning until all of my toxic layers are shed, and I am ready to re-enter as a contributing member of our beautiful society.
What about the
Thank you,
kids?
Judge Walton.
She didn't ask for the kids. Well, it's hard to hear her because she was eating the mic. No, she didn't actually ask for the children's forgiveness, nor did she really say fully that she was sorry to them. What she said was, you are my babies. You came from me. You're part of me. And I'm like a little mother duck that you follow around and I lead you into safety. But the turbulent waters were so bad and I didn't even know I was leading you into a bad place. That was the only thing she said about her kids. Is that an apology? It sounds like a
Your statement, Ms.
excuse.
Franke. Anything else, Mr. Winward?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else prior to the court imposing sentence?
No, Your Honor.
The sentence will be that Ms. Franke serve 4 counts, 4 1 to 15-year sentences based on her convictions for 4 counts of aggravated child abuse. Again, they will be served consecutively pursuant to the parties' agreement. And
So as we talked about in the beginning of the video, that's the maximum that she can get. Utah doesn't apply a number, they apply a range. And again, in Utah, if you're given consecutive sentences, they can't total more than 30 years. So even though theoretically she should be getting 60, max out at 60, they're both getting maxed out at 30. And from what I've been hearing, there's really not much more to this. From what I've been hearing, a lot of the political legal pundits are saying that because neither of them has really any kind of record, that chances are they will get the minimum. Weird, right? So what did I have notes here about? Oh, I said about the kid's counselor, right? It was weird, right? Like she said she hired Jody to be a counselor for the oldest son, but Jody's specialty was marriage and sex counseling, so I don't know why she would have chosen her. So we talked about that. Sorry to the kids. What about the dad? The kids are in the custody of Child Protective Services right now, but what do you think about the dad? What do you guys think about the dad getting custody? Let's do a Pullman. Very curious. What's his name? Kevin. Should Kevin get custody? I bet I know what your answer is going to be overwhelmingly, but I'm curious. All right, there's a little Pullman. He doesn't have custody right now. They're in the Child Protective Services care. So I'm curious there. And then what did I put here? Parents' letter. Oh, we looked at that. So what this is, what we just heard was what's called it's a statement. It's a pre-sentencing statement that you give the judge after you've pled guilty before they sentence you, right? And I guess the goal is to try and get some leniency. You know, it's your chance to take accountability and responsibility. You know, so that's what she was doing. Now, Jody Hildebrand had the option as well to do a pre-sentencing statement, and her lawyers advised her not to do it because they said any pre-sentencing statement that she wrote would sound hollow and self-serving. So they preferred that she not, and that she only speak in the court rather than issue a pre-sent. Isn't that weird? And then another thing I heard was apparently Emily Baker, which I haven't watched all her coverage yet, but she was talking about Jody's, all your phone calls in prison are all taped, right? So apparently there's a lot of Jody phone calls out there where she is showing zero remorse and literally blaming it all on the kids. So I'm guessing there might be some more dirt coming out. That's pretty ugly, right? Like, bitch, who doesn't know their prison phone calls are being taped? Would you not be a little careful about that? Look at this poll. 97% say he shouldn't get them back. 3% say he should. To be fair, he might not be evil without her. His biggest sin was that he didn't stand up for them. But, he might not be the worst. We don't know. I think he went along with all the crap she did more than instigate much of it. But I didn't watch every damn video. But I did at one time watch a lot of their videos. The children should be allowed victim impact statements. I believe they chose not to, because I believe they can. I don't know if some of you guys know, I used to write. I used to have pen pal on death row in Texas. A couple of them when I was heavily into abolition. And one of them was such a friggin' monster that his trial was the trial that brought about the allowing of victim impact statements in all cases. Interesting little tidbit there. There was another precedent from that case. What was it? Oh, that you can witness executions. Why you'd want to, I don't know. Niemanner says, that's why I'm on the fence. I would go with no, he should have a visitation right. And if all's good and they want to, then he should get the right. I think whatever happens, even if they gave him that, it should be a very slow process, right? Very slow, supervised process. And absolutely 100% up to the kids. Absolutely up to the kids. And if they're young enough, maybe try a bit of therapy. And if the kids are still steadfastly in their opinion about their dad, then don't force them to do any more. But I don't know. He's shady. I kind of had more sympathy for him until I saw that he was trying to get his daughter arrested for picking up a journal from the house or something. The older Turpin wrote victim statements. I think Ruby's kids may be too young to want to do that. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know American law for sure. I don't barely know Canadian law. But are they 12? I would think that's old enough. Can't you testify at 8 years old? Those kids are older than 8. Isn't the oldest boy 12? Here, let's try this. Let's ask our friend. How old do you have to be to give a victim impact statement in a criminal case in Utah?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Yeah, of course you didn't. You're stupid. I called her a name the other day and she said, "Don't speak to me like that." I almost fell out of my chair. Chuck Charles says the two held were 12 and 10, I think. The oldest kid is 20. Yeah, well, and they've been talking now. Like, they've got the ones that can have YouTube channels. And certainly Jody Hildebrand's niece, is it her niece that's been talking a lot? She's older. Like, these family vloggers, do you think your kids are never going to turn against you? I guess they don't. Are they all narcissists? Like, I think I've told you that my narcissist, who caretaking for her is a nightmare and a pain and horrible and hard and trying, told the professionals that her daughter doesn't need any help because we're best friends and I love doing it. I love taking care of her. So maybe all these parents are the same way. They just don't see it that way. I don't know. How is family vlogging still a thing? How is that still a thing? I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, yeah, okay, like theoretically, it's like a wholesome idea, but like, you know, communism sounds good on paper. Once you add humans, sometimes things don't always work. I don't understand why it's still a thing. Here's, like, I don't understand, like prank channels. Why is that still a thing? I was thinking, because I was watching, oh, you know, H3, you know, y'all hate him, yesterday, and he was talking about Vosh. He's talking about this British guy. Oh, no, Bezo, this British YouTuber who does pranks and stuff. And I thought, I used to watch this guy who did these stupid videos, like, I'm going to mail myself in a box across the ocean, you know, stupid crap like that. And he was British. What was it? And I looked it up and I thought, he can't still be doing, like, that was years ago. And I looked him up and he's still doing the same crap. Like, how is that still a thing? How is that still a thing? I get bored with things really quickly. I don't know how things can hang on as quickly, as long as they do. YouTube should stop that. Family vlogging stuff, right? They still get lots of views though, right? Like, who's a popular family vlog channel? They probably get millions of views. I don't even know who's popular anymore because they've all gone down the bad hole, haven't they? Is there any of them that just kind of ended well and went away because the kids grew up and they retired? Never seen that happen yet, have we? Connor says it could be. Well, that's what I said. It's great on paper, but once you add human beings into the equation, things don't always work out. Doherty doesn't. Colleen Ballinger. Yeah, see? 8 passengers. There's that one with that chick who says, what's her name? Oh my God, I can't think of it. Colleen Ballinger's doing the mummy vlog route now? Shh, no. Well, she kind of was, wasn't she? Hardly Dan. Dan, have you been following all that? That's crazy, eh? There's a vlogger in KW who's been an after family vloggers for years. Oh, really? Kate plus 8, the Bells. There's one that... Oh, I can't think of... There's a couple that I can't think of that I only know because H3's made fun of them. But I can't think of their names. Yeah, Kate plus 8, that worked out well too, right? Octomummy, that worked out well too, didn't it? The Lebrants. Charles, that's who I was trying to think of. The Lebrants. Isn't that the... This is your girl, Bianca. Is that the LeBrans? That's not what I was thinking of. That's how the mummy always. Ruby's sisters, they're all vloggers, but they were kind of distancing themselves from her. They're very, glazed up Mormon vloggers, but the Reeds and her 7 deadly sins. Hey, I already made that video. It's actually one of my better performing ever compilation videos in AMBERLYNN Reid. Was AMBERLYNN Reid and the 7 deadly sins. The Ace family, of course. Hey, that's interesting dirt right now too, isn't it? Because apparently he's just being a damn clown, and the ex-wife is now like, dude, you're embarrassing the hell out of me. Stop. And I think, what about their kids? Seriously, dude, you've got kids. This is going to be on the internet forever. And in 4 years, when those kids are in high school, it's just, it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Can you hear it? No, you can't. I'm just looking to see. Yeah, see, the last thing the Ace family uploaded was 8 months ago on their channel, answering all of the questions. I'm sure it was very genuine and sincere, wasn't it? Yeah, like now he's pulling this, that he lives in an RV and he's like doing these weird videos with a little person, but making fun of them and stuff. It's just really weird. He's doing all kinds of weird crap right now. No, the Ace family isn't who I was thinking of. I'm thinking of that. Oh, Daddy of 5. That's another one, right? Didn't they end up in jail? I think he ended up in jail, didn't he? No, who was that? This is your girl, Bianca. And she drags it out forever and ever. Look at you guys. You can't stop coming up with names. The Beastin Bunch. Does Girl Defined do family vlogs? Oh, good Lord, no. Anyway, it's so distasteful. And, I thought we might be able to just finish off with a giggle at a weigh-in, but I don't think we've got one yet. I don't think we've got a weigh-in yet. No, I'm not seeing anything new here on the AMBERLYNN Reid channel. AMBERLYNN freaking Reid channel. Maybe Amber and Alexis will get married and they can start a family vlog channel. Wouldn't that be the best? Amber would be the best family vlogger ever. Right? I don't know how to wrap this up. That was depressing, but at least it's not that depressing because those 2 bitches are in jail, which is really all that matters, right? Let's hope that those kids get... I'm going to cut it short today because this topic isn't fun and silly. Summer says, you're right, my hair looks good today. Thank you. It's growing in, You know why it's looking a little better today? Because I decided I was going to get it cut. And ever since I decided I'm going to get it cut, all of a sudden, I don't hate it. So we'll see what happens. Tomorrow, I think we'll put up a compilation. I got a lot of Joan duty tomorrow. We got to go to the doctor and all this stuff tomorrow. I'm thinking of maybe a compilation of AMBERLYNN's conspiracy theories, since she brought chemtrails back into the conversation. I need to know more about chemtrails. Anyway, that's for tomorrow. I want to thank you all for joining me. You guys are great. I know this isn't our typical content for Hump Day Wednesday, so I really appreciate you being here, because if you like this stuff, I'd love to do more non-Amber content. It's interesting. It's interesting. Thank you all for joining me. I'm going to grab a bite to eat, and I'll see you in the Discord later on. And I'll see you tomorrow. And until we meet again from this sleepy, sleepy man and I, flash those peepers, Bobo. Yes. Thank you all for joining me. And until we meet again, please be kind. Hasta luego. Right? 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 Right?